In this particular file, we're going to talk about how to design the bankful riffle cross-section. So I have a bunch of designations on this particular slide. So here we have bankful top width. And then we have BCA is bankful cross-sectional area. BBW is bankful bottom width. BAD is bankful actual depth. BMD is bankful mean depth. And then you can see the BCA is the same. So when they use the mean depth, they take the trapezoidal riffle cross-section and make that into an equivalent rectangular area having the same top width and the same cross-sectional area. But you can see the bankful mean depth will be less than the bankful actual depth. So using these parameters, the bankful cross-sectional area is simply the area of the trapezoid. And then the bankful cross-sectional area is also the bankful width times the bankful mean depth. The Roskin width to depth ratio is then the bankful top width divided by the bankful mean depth. So if you're doing the riffle design, the first part is from the maps and field investigation, determine the Roskin stream type. From a stream gauge or hydrologic analysis, determine the bankful flow rate. And then assume a trial value for the bankful top width. Determine the bankful mean depth by dividing the bankful top width by the selected width to depth ratio. The width to depth ratio would come from the Roskin stream type. Determine the bankful cross-sectional area. Determine the bankful actual depth. Determine the bankful flow rate that you get from your estimate and compare that to what came from the hydrologic bankful flow rate. Now you've determined the geometric size of actually the riffle trapezoid. Now you would like the overbank. So it says, assume a trial value for the bankful bottom width NM, and then determine the bankful top width, the bankful cross-sectional area, the bankful mean depth, and the bankful flow rate. So now adjust the bankful bottom width so that the bankful flow rate calculated equals the bankful flow rate hydrologic. Determine the maximum particle size that will move during the bankful event. And I misspoke because the third part is actually determining the flood flow limits. The second part up on top is refining the riffle design. So the third part, use the flood flow rate determined from the hydrologic analysis to determine the depth and the width of the overbanks. The entrenchment ratio should match the channel classification.